بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Strike terror in the hearts of the enemies of Allah and your own, and others beside them not known to you, but known to Allah. Whatever you spend in the way of Allah, we will pay it back to you in full, and no wrong will be done to you. I also bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his final messenger who said in an authentic hadith, O Allah, I seek refuge with you from worry and grief, from incapacity and laziness, from cowardice and miserliness, and from being heavily in debt, and from being overpowered by other men. Brothers and sisters in Islam, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watchful of what you do. Coming Thursday is the 1st of October 2020 that marks the 60th anniversary of Nigeria after attaining independence from the British rule. Many countries celebrate Independence Day to remember the day self-rule is attained. It's worth celebrating to be free from disenfranchisement and slavery in what name it is, whatever it is named. Many countries were colonized and disenfranchised in different ways and methods for a long time, some even up to more than 3 centuries. Colonists colonize countries and impose new culture and norms on them in the name of developing them, but the sole aim is to enslave them and to take away their natural resources. Colonizing has different methods, some of which are torture, alienation, deculturalization, changing of mindset, starvation, confiscation of wealth, terrorism, that is, killing the well-informed, wise, and knowledgeable in the society, distorting and cutting generations from their history, literacy, and education, employing divide and rule tactic, making victims believe that technological development is linked to colonialism, and many more. Old colonialism forced out after the Second World War due to the wind of capitalism. It left residue as well as the new colonialism, which caused the following. It imposed alien culture and language on victim nations, alien rules and laws. It also imposed unfavorable boundaries, alien lifestyle, food and medications, educational system that favors them mainly, unjust economy and financial system. It also imposed a culture of reliance on foreign aid or foreign help. It also imposed on them civil and national development that looks in favor of the victim nations, while really it's in favor of the colonists. Secondly, it ensured the victims' natural resources are being channeled to them continually in a way that favors them better. It also turns victim countries into dumping ground. It also brings about some disease that sounds natural, unfavorable terms and conditions for bilateral relations, agreement, be it trade or something else, or anything else. It also leaves behind who and what would sustain and ensure freedom and independence are followed. It also used media to tarnish image and promote fake impression and perceptions. Deployment of strategy that is time-proven, problem reaction solution. and methods of slavery are being introduced, especially through debt and rebirth, media, insurgency, unrest, diseases, cyber slavery, and so on. A vivid example of this is a metal exchange market in a capital city of a colonist is the world center for trade of industrial metals. Few years ago, annual deals reached over $10 trillion. This is 4 times the size of the economy of the whole country where the metal exchange market is located. Hardly the nations that produce the metals represented the deal. Another example is that there is an African country with many gold mining sites, but no gold bullion storage, while its colonist has no gold mining sites, but have lots of bullion storages. The same country has uranium, but its cities are in darkness, while the so-called colonial master have no uranium, but cities lighting with uranium nuclear energy electricity. An Asian country that suffered in the hands of the unjust nations hired their companies to explore and find out if it has oil. The answer was negative. But when it developed its own twin ship, it found out that it has about 320 billion volume of natural gas about 2 months ago. And the same gas are being fled away by some countries. Blame game will not get us developed and free from the clouds of enslaving remnants of the so-called colonial masters. Here are some ways to make nations free from such slavery. First of all, we should all know that absolute service and slavery is due to Allah alone. We should also learn about an history and be proud of it. We should also know that wisdom is our lost property. We take it from whomsoever. We should also know that self-sufficiency in production of food and water and medication, armaments, ICT and manufacturing products would do a long way to free us from this slavery. We should also know that having well-armed and trained force for protection and prevention will also do a long way. Ability of extracting and processing natural resources without necessarily seeking for foreign help keeps self and nation protected from misinformation and exploitation. We live in a world where one cannot afford not to have strength, leverage, will, and influence for right to be respected and honored, and for real independence and freedom as well.